Well, hey y'all, Venture Brad here, and yeah, wanted to take a minute and talk to you about a couple of things, and that thing there behind me, and there's my favorite critter right here. She's a good girl's Onyx, yes. And you guys are used to seeing that thing in videos, and I really like flying that. But I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I'm a new pilot. I like to pay attention to flying and not be distracted about making videos, making sure camera's charged, framing the shot and all that. And to be honest, I feel like it takes away from my fun. I really like sharing this stuff with you guys, and I get so many awesome comments from everybody, always just so stoked and excited about my videos. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely going to be still putting out paramotor videos, but I'm going to be going back to my roots. I don't know how much you guys know this, but YouTube does not pay that well. I could barely feed the dog on what I make from YouTube. I'm glad I have other sources of income, but this is the paramotor's new to me. Maybe we'll get back to featuring more videos down the line, and it's more natural to me. But I'm going to go back to doing videos that I like to do, that I care about. So yeah, here it is. This is, some of you people who have been around for a while know this. This is my old 56 Jeep Willys. This was made by Kaiser. Show you guys over here. But it's a Willys, made by Kaiser. I'm gonna cover up my VIN number there. But yeah, it's a M38A1 military Jeep. That's been what I like to call civilianized. It's got the battery box cover here for the 24 volt system, the military style dash. It's a military tub. It's the military frame. You can tell by the shock mounts, it's factory boxed in. But this little bad boy, about the only thing left of it that is still the original Jeep is the body tub. I got this. This is a Myers. A lot of people don't know, but Myers, let's find the label for you in here. Yeah, there we go. Myers cabs. They're the top alone is worth what I paid for the Jeep. But they're really hard to find. Jeeps at this time were just a roadster. This is still classified as a roadster according to DMV. But this was a kit that you bought like out of a Sears catalog, and you put on top of the Jeep to enclose it. I had some hard doors. I kind of ended up losing those. But yeah, the tub's still original. The frame's still original, but it's been worked over heavily. The frame rails here are all boxed in factory up to about right in here. And then after that, I've boxed it all in. This is a power steering pump out of a Chevrolet two-wheel drive car. It's boxed in on both sides. There's a winch up front. The winch normally doesn't fit. Oh, sorry guys. The winch normally won't fit between the frame rails. You can see how close the gap is here. Normally doesn't fit in the frame rails well at all, but took the winch apart. I had the drum cut short and welded up by this ace machinist, George. And he redid the spool for me, shortened these rods. So I was able to I lost like 20 feet of cable, but most of the time it's actually an advantage because you're winching short. We'll go into a whole video of why that's an advantage later on. It's got a Model 30 front end in it with a Detroit locker. I know you guys are wondering about what's going on here. We'll get to that in a minute, and the title is the video. These are what we call Bucky bars. There's a legend in the off-road community, Bucky Ray, and this is I worked for him for many years. Quite really enjoy the guy. I refer to him as my old man. I lost my dad when I was real young, so he kind of nurtured my mechanical skills and taught me a lot of other things about life. I really appreciate it. So when I went to build a Jeep, this is pretty much his recipe of a combination for a sweet, sweet Jeep. So yeah, these bars are called Bucky bars, kind of just in the name of him, but they're heavy duty, they're folded, they're rolled up under the sides. I'll show you guys this. You can see how that curves up and around and makes all those folds. It's strong, like the underside of your car hood, how it has all those bends and stuff. That's how it makes stuff real strong. I could set the whole Jeep on these things, and yeah, it'd just, you can see there's just giant gouges in them. The thing's been rough and tumbled pretty heavily, but yeah, it's got a full floater 44 rear end with a true track in the back. The reason there's no Detroit locker in the back is because there's 81 inches of wheelbase, meaning the thing is so freaking short that it'll if you're on ice or mud or anything, it'll swap ends in a hurry. So yeah, it's 44 in the back with a full floater, Bouchard rear axles, 33-inch 1250 MTRs, transfer case. Everything's kind of a slimy mess down here. There's a camera up here. Eyes up. There we go. Here, hold on. I know you guys are just itching to see what this is. So this is a slime ball right now. This is a Dana 18 transfer case. People call them side drive, but if you look, the rear end is offset. So there's that axle shaft all over there, but there's really short. It's right up against the spring on this side. There's no, space. Everything's offset to one side. That was done for clearance. Looks like I have a spider down here. I should probably not crawl that direction too much. But it's an offset transfer case. If you look up here, you can see that right there in front of you is an overdrive unit, and that's straight in line with the center line of the crankshaft, and then so the output shaft comes out over here. That is an overdrive 25% gear splitter. So in any gear, forward or reverse, I could add a 25% overdrive to it. When this thing was the 4-banger, 60 horsepower little F-head Willys tractor motor, that thing was a necessity because second and third gear were so far apart. It was just a pain to go anywhere. You couldn't go up very steep hills without using the overdrive. So yeah, we got because we're going up to Alaska real soon, so you guys will be stoked on that. We're taking the Jeep up there. I ordered up a super duper, there we go, Mojave heater. And yeah, so this or Mojave style heater, should help keep me warm. Inside of the bad boy here, we have a bunch of sticks. So starting out, stickety sticks. This is the transmission. This is the gear splitter over and under drive. This is 2 4-wheel drive. This is high range and low range for the transfer case. So yeah, there's a bunch of sticks, more for your pleasure. Cool thing about this little Jeepity Jeep, it's got an overdrive automatic 3-speed transmission with a specially built Mike Benson, it's a Benson built it's a Tranny John built trans with a Benson transmission kit and torque converter, and he's wired up the torque converter for me. So I have this little magical switch right over here, that guy right there, that allows it to operate like a factory lockup transmission, or I can manually lock it up, which if I manually lock the transmission up, then I could shift through all the gears. And the cool thing about that is like hill descent mode. I could put that thing in I could put the Jeep in low range, low gear first in the transmission, lock that in, and it locks out my torque converter, so it makes it like a clutch with the clutch out. There's no slip, so if I come to a stop and I step on the brake, it will kill the motor. But the cool part about that is when you go downhill, the Jeep just, and you guys are going to be able to see that here in use real quick. But yeah, power steering like we talked about, but just the old factory dash, a big fan of that. Automatic 350 transmission. And here's the gold, and this is what we're talking about in this topic of this video, besides just YouTube trying to kill me, being all crazy with yeah, clickbaity videos, and if I don't go extreme on my paramotor, you guys aren't going to care. Well, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to do videos I like. So I'm rambling right now. I don't care if you watch or not. This is the magic. Set on a set of factory mounts for the later V6 Jeeps. This is a 231 odd fire Buick motor out of like a Skylark, Skyhawk. This is the same block, and everything is the Grand Nationals, little turbo Regals that everybody really liked. This is the same block and everything, just naturally aspirated. Meaning I got Holly up here. Hollies are always known for doing well. This is a 650. You know, it's pretty good size for such a 231 inch. And in the metric people, that's 3.8 cubic liters of displacement. So yeah, I'll crawl up on the bad boy here. She's got an Offenhauer's in her intake. Really, help open up that plenum, let everything breathe. The carb out of the way. So an Offie, big old intake manifold. That cleaned up. I just picked up the gaskets at the hardware store right now because the original ones I had for this don't fit. Just slid in a fresh Iskandarian camshaft. This is a quite chain. My valve springs aren't super heavy, so I don't need a heavy duty chain. This is like a 500 lift cam. I forget the duration, but yeah, it's a pretty decent size cam. Leaves always end up blowing way down in the bottom. But yeah, we got a nice little cam-to-lam shaft down in there, set of rockers and lifters. Yeah, this is kind of the whole cats. Let's show you guys inside here. This is the 75, 76 motor, so the heads are a little different, and that's why I had an issue with the original gasket kit I had ordered. Because people don't listen. What's it for? 56 wheelies, huh? Yeah, okay, listen to me. This is the motor that you need to be looking for. People at parts stores amaze me. They're not paying intelligence, they're just paying minimum wage. So, anyways, shaft-mounted rockers. Yeehaw! Just had these heads done. I got a little oversized intake valve. I didn't necessarily want that, but this shop's like a race shop, and all they know how to do is make things go bigger, make things go faster. So that's what they're like, oh yeah, we intake valves, we smoothed over the runners a little bit, and it's like, thanks guys, but it's just a Jeep. I like an extra little rompity horsepower, but it's not, it shmoulders the tires enough on its own. So yeah, we're cool. But yeah, so that's a nice little pretty valve train there. Get that covered up, and got a set of one of the big things that Bucky said that makes it kind of a pain for clearance wise, because out here I'm always crunching my headers on the rocks. Stock manifolds would have been nice because they go down inside the frame, and I could have kept my exhaust in there. But Bucky Reddy said, camshaft, intake, and headers. Let this motor breathe, and it'll wake up. And wow, I ran this motor for quite a few years till I heard it. And like I said, it'll smolder the tires, no problem. This little Jeep really gets up and goes. So if it's hot out, it kind of a little dry hop. We'll get to that later. So, anyways, you guys, I'm sure I'm rambling here, but this is the reason why I'm rebuilding it. Camshaft rumble stick. Yep. What does this do? Well, this is what, you guys don't know, sits down in the block like this. The lifters down at the bottom I was pointing at earlier, right on this. It pushes the push rods up and down. Rockers proc up and down. Pushes on the valves. Valves go up and down. And they open, allow the intake and exhaust gases to go out at a certain time point for amount of duration and blah, blah, blah. So this is the lump shaft. Can anybody tell with my lump shaft here what's wrong with it? Well, the problem with it is, make sure you guys get a good view of the problem area, is modern oil sucks. To meet EPA, stupidity d'other, don't, pollute the storm drains, kittens might lick stuff. they've taken all the zinc out of most modern oils. Well, what zinc is the zinc is something you need to put in your car because these flat tappet lifters ride right onto that. It's not like a modern, it's got a ball bearing. It's here, let's go show you guys a lifter. So this is a lifter here. This part goes in the block down here. That's one there. See that jobby right there? He's right next to a buddy. It's the top of a buddy right there. So yeah, lifter goes in the block, rides on the camshaft. Camshaft turns. As it turns, they go up and down. You can see the difference there. And see the difference there in height. The camshaft turns around, it goes up and down. Well, this one right there, you see that? It's not all peaky, and that one's like a woo peak. I want to make sure I get a good angle. You see how that's got a nice peak on it? Check out its buddy. I'll turn it this way so you can see. See that peakity? Well, that peakady's supposed to be there, and it's gone. And I know it's kind of hard to tell in this video, but you see how that difference in the shine as it comes across here? All the hard face is gone. Once you go through the hard face, the hardened face of the motor, it's going to ruin it. Of any hard part, bearing, camshafts are particularly susceptible to this. So what happened is the hard face went away on the camshaft. Lifter stopped lifting up and down because it's not a camshaft anymore. It's just kind of got a random lump in it. That lump don't lift the valve. That was an intake valve, so it wasn't opening the valve up, allowing fuel and air to go into that cylinder. When fuel and air don't go into the cylinder, then you can't make the boom poppity from Sparky Pluggities right here. When you get no boom poppity, now you have a 5-cylinder. 5 cylinders don't run as good as 6 cylinders. And then, yeah, then you're just kind of carrying that cylinder along. It's dead weight. It's like this buddy that you can't get rid of. So yeah, you want to not have that problem. The reason that you not have that problem is you could either run diesel oil helps, and like running like Dello diesel oil, but this is a zinc additive. They call it a break-in lubricant. It's really good to break motors in on, but if you have an older motor like this that has a flat tappet camshaft, not a roller cam, all modern motors have roller cams, but this stuff, zinc additive, is you want to run 2 of these for a break-in on an early motor like this. Just put them right in on top of the oil, and then 1 of these with every freaking oil change. And I got excited, got back from Alaska, and jumped in the Jeep and old gas, and probably didn't do an oil change, and just everything was crap. And I went doing hot laps, and the next thing I know, it's doing sputtering and popping, and yeah. So, anyways, besides the stupid money it got spent, we'll get her back alive. We'll get to showing you guys some of the fun trails we get to be on. I'm going to fire the motor up here in the next day or two. I'm definitely going to include you. That's kind of fun. Open headers, decently sized camshaft. When you break a motor in like this, or a new camshaft, any new camshaft stock, heavy duty cam, rompity romp stuff, you always, besides the zinc and stuff, it helps to have 2 guys, women, whatever, that know what's up. So you could turn around so we could face the camera a little easier. You want to break it in with 2 people. One to kind of fire the car, run the throttle, and another person run the throttle and watch the RPMs. I'll explain that. Hold on. Just calm down. You want to have somebody to run the throttles in the starter. When you fire a motor like this, too, it's really important. Firing any motor that's sitting around, not a camshaft or anything, but any carbureted motor that hasn't ran in a while. If you get a backfire and a flame starts on top of your carburetor, stay on the starter. Don't lift. Stay on that starter and pull it. If you stay on the starter, it'll pull that flame down into the intake. Sometimes the motor might even start too, but it won't cause a big under hood fire and make a mess and And at minimum, any of the smoke's out the shop and all that. So just stay on the starter, suck that flame back in. But yes, you want to have two guys, a throttle man, starter man, and then you want to have somebody that's going to run this thing, timing light. Pachow, pachow. Yeah, you don't need to be a gunfighter, but they're handy to have. So yeah, you have somebody that runs a timing light, and they can adjust the distributor because it depends on what advance you're running and stuff like that. 30, 45, 48, and big degrees. Depending on what advance you're running, you want to be able to run the carburetor or run the distributor back and forth. Get to whatever advance you're looking for. You're not going through something real heavy. You just want it to run decently. You know, if you're decent, you could do it off ear, but it's better to do it with a timing light. Get the dwell, excuse me. It's not a points condensers. It has electronic ignition in it. But you want to get the distributor set right so the motor's running to run good. Then you got your carburetor throttle man, starter man, and then that way once the motor's lit and you don't need to be on the starter no more, he just runs the throttle. This is the magic part. You got to run it at $2,000 to $2,500, varying the throttle for 20 to 25 minutes minimum. So no, it's not something you fire up you go to fire a motor like this middle of the night in the city. No, you light something like this off in somewhere where you can make, especially when you got open headers and stuff, you're going to make a bunch of noise, and you don't want to go pissing off everyone within 20 miles of you because you just fired this thing up and ran it hard for 20 to 25 minutes. Whoa! Yeah, so it's always fun. I enjoy it. It's like a welcoming to the world party for a motor. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up because I want to get this intake on tonight and the front cover and everything, because I was waiting on the seal for that, and get the front cover on, get the accessories on. Like I said, hopefully in the next day or so, accidents and incidents, we're going to be lighting this thing off and taking our old friend to the party here, because yeah, we kind of miss her and she's kind of fun, and yeah, I want to bring you guys around and we'll go back to the roots of playing, and we'll still take this thing along for the ride. It'll fit nicely on the back of the Jeep still, and the Jeep will fit nicely behind that thing still, and yeah. So rock on. You guys live your life, enjoy yourself, and till next time, yeah?